Yo. All right, D, you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Oh. Hey, team, we forgot to mention some of our housekeeping. Hey, team. All right, D, you ready?
Yep.
All right, D, you ready?
Yep.
Okay, let's get going. So,
Okay, let's get going. So we are going to start with Rand and this new chick, Celine. I am so very happy. Okay, let's get going. So we are going to start with Rand and this new chick, Celine. I am so very happy for Rand to have a close friend at this part of his journey because most of his friends think he's dead, and the other people that know of him that's still alive knows their days are numbered, right? Because shit's
let's add a picture in picture. It's not going to be the final, but just for now. Drag and drop it on here. Let's go back to edit this one. Switch this to 0.5 to make it bigger. Let's go to this one. Click on that. Picture in picture. Let's switch this to 0.5 as well. Oop, that's 3.5, 0.5. Okay.
Okay, let's get going. So we...
What up, Cody? Miss you too, man. Miss you too.
Okay, let's get going. So we are going to start with Rand and this new chick, Celine. I am so very happy for Rand to have a close friend at this part of his journey because most of his friends think he's dead, and the other people that know of him that's still alive knows their days are numbered, right? Because shit's going to go down. So there's a lot of chaos going on right after that big scene.
If you want, Cody, there's a website. Not a website, a channel. Daryl and I just launched, and we had our first video uploaded like last week. And I think this is something in the makings, and we're going to continue throughout for the Wheel of Time. Not just limited to the Wheel of Time, but other great series as well too. But for now, it's the Wheel of Time, and the channel's called Watchers and Readers. I'll type it in here. Watchers and Readers. If you want to check it out, give me a thumbs up, a like, a sub, that'd be awesome. So that's what I'm editing for right now. I know there's a little bit of echo. I don't know if you can hear it, but let me turn this down. Volume's okay? Okay.
And he had no clue who killed him or what went on. That was horrific. And, and that's why I say I'm glad that Celine is there for that moment, this part of his journey, for the comfort. And if they're getting benefits from each other, even better. And it looks like he does, because as Rand walks through the halls of the ward where he works, you can tell his composure and confidence is all-time high. He has a little bit of a bounce to his step as he just won the Super Bowl. I love it. Cool. Yeah. Towards the end of the psych ward, where they help some of the people who have post what? PTSD, post-traumatic syndrome.
PTSD. Or what is it? Help me out, Cody. Is it PTSD or PD? I don't know, bro. I need to edit this out.
Some of the people who have post PTSD. Towards the end of the post what?
So how I will edit
some of the people who have.
is I would drag and highlight And there's a little blue bar that signifies which region I'm interested in. And then I can go in and actually click on each one of these by hitting Control, holding down Control. So I've got these 4 tracks within this region. I could right-click, split, and now I've got them individually. I can move them around. In this case, I want to delete these. So let's zoom in, highlight, delete, and let's bump these up right next to it.
PTSD, post-traumatic. Yeah. Some of the people who have
Let's keep the organic. I don't want to edit too much out. Then people think I'm smart or something. Don't want to fake the funk.
Yeah, PTSD. Towards the end of the war, yeah. Some of the people who have PTSD. Towards the end of the war, where they're helping people with PTSD. We got a little bit of a good dive into Rand's approach on things and how strategic he can be. It was a great chess move by Rand and how he worked himself into that courtyard. That was a great move. Love it.
Okay, that's a segment. That's good.
Yeah, that was, the show did show a good side of Rand being strategic, right? It seemed, if this in fact is a move that he did and put in place, that's a pretty valid point. He got in there to CeeLo gain. He's looking for something. I hope that we get to see more of those two together on screen. I know that, getting inside of Rand's head a little bit, if they're showing us how he thinks, that's really awesome. Another good look at how this episode or the season is showing a little bit more how people think. Let's look at Perrin. Going into Perrin's transition from, I would say, season 1 to season 2, where we got to see him do something that was very traumatic, killing his wife, which is different from in the books, because he actually killed 2 White Cloaks. But we don't get to see his headcanon, so this was more, I think, of a way to show, hey, this was serious, this hurt him, he loved her, and he's dealing with it. Still getting to travel with the Tinkers, and now we get to see him coming into his powers. He's getting to see visions, which is, now we get to see a little bit more of what is going on with Perrin, what's inside his head. He's meeting Elias. It's a little shaky, but Elias is going to be somebody good for Perrin, I think, in the end. The scene where they had the Fade nailed to the wall. Yeah. The good thing about that scene is it is from the books. That was a very iconic moment, and I hope they kind of dive into how that happened, and some of the actions that happened at that.
Why is it asking for my sign-in now again? Ugh. Let me sign in. I was trying to react to you, and some reason it's asking me to sign in. So let me sign in. Let's go to my password, copy. I just lost that. Here it is. I gotta verify my phone. All these authentication. Yes, it's me. Okay, there we go. All this technology, man. These Zoomers. Asking a lot of these boomers.
Was it?
That's where my echo's coming from. It's in my browser. So let me turn my browser down.
Yeah, PTSD.
Yeah, that was, the show did show a good side of Rand being strategic, right? It seemed, if in the end, the scene where they had the Fade nailed to the wall. Yeah. The good thing about that scene is it is from the books. That was a very iconic moment, and I hope they kind of dive in. We got to see Pot on Fane maybe being the reason behind those deaths, so the body count there. I thought that was neat to see.
Yeah, we definitely get a different perspective on Perrin, right? Instead of grieving over his wife, he emerges from this dark room.
Whoa.
The scene where they had the Fade nailed to the wall. Yeah. The good thing about that scene is it is
I'm getting echo now. Why is this happening?
we got to see Pot on Fane maybe being the reason behind those deaths, so the body count there. I thought that was neat to see.
Yeah, we definitely get a different perspective on Perrin, right? Instead of grieving over his wife, he emerges from
I
this
need
dark
to
room.
mute something. There it is, mute. pretty good now.
We definitely get a different perspective on Perrin, right? Instead of grieving over his wife, he emerges from this dark room, and we get to see how he's adjusting with his gift of vision. But it seems like Perrin is not 100%.
Neat to see.
Yeah, we definitely get a different perspective on Perrin, right? Instead of grieving.
All right, this is part 2. Let's chop
Yeah,
Hit S to split. Hitting shift to grab a chunk, moving it over. For some reason to split this, but I could repair that. Event heal. And let's add the Viking sound transition. That's gonna be, I'll open up another Vegas. I'm gonna Okay, let's open a project I just finished. Let's go to M.2. Let's go up one. And it's a little sluggish. Don't know why. Season 1 just finished. Let's open that. So this is what season 1 project looks like finished, in case you're curious. And I'm gonna just copy some of the transitions I had made already and flip over to my new one. And I'll create another audio track. Right click or control Q. It populates at the bottom. I can move that by just dragging it up to here. And that's highlighted on the left. I'm gonna hit control V for paste. There it is. I'm just putting it out here for now just to show it's a transitional moment. And in case you're wondering, there's these little caret spots in the tracks that actually signify when it's looping. I don't want it to loop. And I'm just putting it here to...
The body count there, I thought that was neat to see.
Yep.
The body count there, I thought that was neat to see.
It looped twice though, that's really weird.
The body count there, I thought that was neat to see.
That's odd. Let's see if I can find it. I don't want to copy and paste, that's causing issues. Let's go back up to back up one tree. Review channel. It's called the SFX Enhance V-Horn. Look for that. It's in the redo. No. Oh yeah, it's in my SFX folder. So that's master. Here it is. Let's get rid of this. Let's hit delete. I can just drag this down there.
I thought that was neat to see.
For some reason that doesn't sound right. I'll fix it later. All right, so let's line up the video at the bottom. I can mute this and mute this, mute, clicking the M's, so these 4 tracks are muted. I can focus at the bottom now. We were talking about Ran and Celine, so let's chop this down more. I'm just gonna split this and move this out of the way. Go to this. And get this sped up a little bit. 2x. Probably gonna have to loop this.
I should get to what? You see anyone in both?
Still ran. That's good. Okay, let's end it there. Let's copy this, paste it again. Control C, Control V. But this time I want to play it from there. So let's bring this out. Start from there. Let's find the next part where I want to loop it. I know there is 2 scenes throughout episode 2. Here it is. So let's go back to the beginning of this one. Here it is. I'll just drag it all the way up to that line and then play this out. There's probably a lot more. Okay. Ends there. Then I know there's another one towards the end where he meets Lorraine. So that's going to be a far one. Let's get that out of there. Drag this out. And I saw the caret. It shows that that's where it's going to start looping. I know it's towards the end. So let's focus on the end piece. There it is, so it's about there. Let's drag this up to that point. Zoom in, drag it over. Zoom in, drag it over. And let's get this polished up. So I think about here. All right, so it's these 3 films for this segment of edit. Let's link these 2 together by hitting Shift, and then I could group them by hitting G. So they're grouped. No, just let's try it again. U for ungroup, Shift, and the tracks I want, hit G for group. I'll do the same thing here. Group those 2. Move this over. Shift once they're both highlighted in yellow. G for group. Do the same thing here. Shift. G for group. Zoom in. Let's bring it over. Okay. So I actually have more video content than I need. I could probably let's do away with the cold open. Or do I? No, I do want it. So let's cut this down to maybe a third. Yeah, let's go down to about there. I'm gonna drag it over to stop it here. And then I'm gonna drag this on top of that to transition. It'll create a little bit of a zone between 2 tracks, the X, and let's see how that looks. Yep, it's sped up, so keep mine on 2x. I'm not watching it for content, watching it for editing. Okay, good. I do want that, but I don't. I need to cut this down. So what's a good spot to really begin at? Let's go there. Let's transition to that for 1 second. I also want this last piece in there as well. So let's chop it down, move it over. It'll snap to other tracks that are in the region. So it snaps to this line here. I can also place lines too if you wanted to by hitting this orange insert marker, the letter M. That can also help out with organizing. And let's drag this so it overlaps for the 1 second. I can do longer if I want. Again. Okay, perfect. All right, so now I need to add in some visual graphics to avoid the copyright strike and also increase the production value. So I got a lot of these. Let's pick them out, throw them in here. Let's go to Explorer, and let's go back to my review channel, season 2, redo, and all this PNGs, part 1s, that's what I want. Let's add this. Okay. I'm gonna actually add another track. It's gonna be another video, and it populates to the top. I'll drag it all the way down in this area, and I'm gonna have the sword on the lower track. And I could drag it to have it play out, and I'll drag the sword also to play out. I edit these PNGs with an alpha channel so you can see through it. Now I just need to touch them up and move these to where I want. Let's make them bigger. Should I make them bigger? Let's make them bigger. And it looks funky, but I need to right click and match output. So it's proportional. Yeah, that looks good. Let's take care of the sword now. Click on that track, and I click on this icon for the bent pan crop, and I can do the same thing. All right, let me resize it to the right size I want. I know it could be obstructing the visual, but that's not the main focus. It's more just to have some stimulus, visual stimulus, and also to show which segment of episode 2 we're talking about. Let's go match output, and let's move this to the area we want. Probably about there. That looks good, right? Yeah. Okay, let's play this. Perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, let's get these off mute. I can collapse this whole section because I labeled it as background VFX and SFX just to keep it clean. I'm going to do the top part, just collapsing that. I don't need that at the moment. Now I'm going to go in and arrange. Technically I shouldn't. I need to move on to the next segment. I need to do the actual bubbles later. That's just temporary for now, just to help me process what's going on. I'll put my flags down. Let's section 1, these markers. Okay. Let's go back to this.
Yeah, we definitely get a different perspective on Perrin, right? Instead of grieving over his wife, he emerges from this dark room, and we get to see how he's adjusting with his gift of vision. But it seems like Perrin is not 100% about those visions, and questions the worth of his power. Like, Elias reminds him, it doesn't work that way, as if he could be one with her bare hands. That was huge. She's one bad chica, this Marine. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. In this episode, we did get to see some interesting moves done by her. This isn't the right scene for Marine, is it? No, not yet. We'll go to the tower first. Then Marine, yeah. So let's head over to the tower. Naive finally gets to be...
All right, so this is the tower part.
No, yeah. We'll go to the tower. I definitely agree with you. In this episode, we did get to see some interesting moves done by her. This isn't the right scene for Marine, is it? No.
Let's cut this by hitting S, slice. Move this over to the left. This next segment. Let's go file save as a good habit. And up this counter to 2. And I'll just call it starting my edits.
Yeah, the actions that happened at that home, I believe that might even be the same place where the Dark Friend Social took place. Okay. And we got to see Todd and Fane maybe being the reason behind those deaths of his body count there. I thought that was neat to see. Yeah, we definitely get a different perspective on Perrin, right? Instead of grieving over his wife, he emerges from this dark room, and we get to see how he's adjusting with his gift of vision.
But it seems like Perrin is not 100%.
About those visions, and questions the worth of his power. Like,
Elias reminds him, it doesn't work that way, as if he could decline those visions.
And, I wonder if those visions are going to be all about death and drama. I question that. Like, I could see why, it's not heading in the right direction, as if, like, Perrin's like, I don't know if I want to rain. Yeah.
I definitely agree with you. In this episode, we did get to see some interesting moves done by her. This isn't the right scene for Moraine, is it? No.
That's not Daryl's part.
I definitely like Elaine Tricon. So the daughter Heir Vandor, she is going to be very important.
No, not yet. We'll go to the tower first. Then
All
Marine,
right.
yeah. So let's head over to the tower. Is this not the tower? Yeah. We definitely get a different perspective on. Did Daryl not send me the right one? Intentional. Jesus.
No, I think 100% right. She is intentional with what she's doing. If we look at just what happened in season 1 with Stepan, when he lost his Aes Sedai, he killed himself. So Moraine is doing things in the show in such a way to prep land for something tragic to happen. So one point
I need to check if there's a double recording here. So let's go to my hub. There's only one he sent me. So it can't be that. It just feels really short. I know Daryl had a lot more to say.
So one point you brought up, I want to just point this out. The Dark Friend Social, the meeting at the beginning, we did see the lacquered nails of Ashanshin blood.
We talk about the quick change first.
In the show in such a way to prep land for something tragic to happen.
That doesn't make sense, yo. Okay, so yeah, we definitely get a different perspective on Perrin, right? Instead of grieving over his wife, he emerges from this dark room, and we get to see how he's adjusting with his gift vision. But it seems like Perrin is not 100%.
Going into Perrin's transition from, I would say, season 1 to season 2, where we got to.
That's why he went first. let's bump this to there. And let's slice this. So let's highlight the slices here. I want to slice these 4S. Okay. Let's move this over. Move this over. And let's repair these. Shift, heal, or it should be. I can't event heal, it's all right. And this is actually, let's make these a group real quick. Select all the items, make them all yellow, then hit G for group. Let's move my audio signal, transitional signal there. And I gotta chop this down more then, which is fine. Let's condense. Let's condense this one. Let's highlight both of these, move these over. Let's mute these channels by hitting M. And let's go to the part where transition, probably here. Got the crossfade for 1 second. Let's play that real quick. Okay.
Hey boy.
All right, let's shrink this down. Don't need that beginning. It's more of here. Okay, it snaps through there. This is good. Let's meet this halfway. Let's check that out.
And it's all. And you get some fresh air.
Okay, that's good. All right, let's adjust these video effects, VFX, that's what I call them, there. And here we go. Let's leave some space for now. All right, let's hit save, Control S.
Where we got going into Perrin's transition from, I would say, season 1 to season 2, where we got to see him do something that was very traumatic, killing his wife, which is different from in the books because he actually killed 2 white cloaks, but we don't get to see his headcanon. So this was more, I think, of a way to show, hey, those deaths, so the body count there. I thought that was neat to see.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. So let's move my marker over here. And let's find these. I need to scrub for a cut.
Going into Perrin's transition from, I would say, season 1 to season 2, where we got to see him do something that was very traumatic, killing his wife, which is different from in the books because he actually killed 2 white cloaks, but we don't get to see his headcanon. So this was more, I think, of a way to show, hey, this was serious. This hurt him. He loved her and he's dealing with it. Still getting to travel with the Tinkers. And now we get to see him come into his powers. He's getting to see visions, which is now we get to see a little bit more of what is going on with Perrin, what's inside his head. He's meeting Elias. It's a little shaky, but Elias is going to be somebody good for Perrin, I think, in the end. The scene where they had the Fade nailed to the wall.
Yeah.
The good thing about that scene is it is from the books. That was a very iconic moment, and I hope they kind of dive into how that happened, and some of the actions that happened at that home. I believe that might even be the same place where the Dark Friend Social took place. We got to see Pot on Fane maybe being the reason behind those deaths, so the body count there. I thought that was neat to see.
Yeah, we definitely get a different perspective.
On Perrin, right?
Instead of grieving over his wife, he emerges from this dark room, and we get to see how he's adjusting with his gift vision. But it seems like Perrin is not 100% about those visions, and questions the worth of his power. Like Elias reminds him, it doesn't work that way, as if he could decline those visions. And I wonder if those visions are going to be all about death and drama. I question that. I can see why. It's not heading in the right direction, as if like Perrin's like, I don't know if I want to sign up for this. I can see why he says that. And the vision of the village, I notice Perrin got lost in the vision, so I sense that he's very uncomfortable with that gift. I'm sure there are plenty of things in life to be stuck with that is worse or a curse. I'll take the vision over a curse any day. You had mentioned Perrin, pot on Fawn. You had mentioned pot on Fawn.
I need to edit that.
You had mentioned Perrin, pot on Fawn. You had mentioned.
Let's get this back to normal speed. You can just double. You had mentioned Perrin, pot on Fawn. You had mentioned pot on Fawn, pot on Fane. Let's get rid of Perrin, pot on. Highlight, drag. I could zoom in. Okay, let's highlight which sections I want to chop. Those four, right click, split. Or just hit trim if I wanted to. Hit delete. Let's drag this over. Pot on Fane. Mention pot on Fane. I can overlap that. Pot on Fane. Mention pot on Fane. Let's add a little bit on this side to the right. Mention pot on Fane. Pot on Fane. You had mentioned pot on Fane. You had mentioned pot on Fane, but I'm not. You had mentioned pot on Fane. Well, that's not where I want to end it. Let's get rid of that segment. Let's try that again. You had mentioned pot on mention. You had mentioned pot on Fane. Mention. You had mentioned pot on. Mention. You had mentioned pot. All right, I could probably edit to there. Drag it over here. Let's try that. And you had mentioned. You had mentioned pot. You had mentioned. You had mentioned pot on. You had mentioned pot on Fane. I didn't need that whole piece anyways. Curse any day. You had mentioned pot on Fane, but I'm not convinced it was him. But over a curse any day. You had mentioned pot. It's a hard transition there. Over a curse any day. You had mentioned pot on Fane. Over a curse any day. You had mentioned pot on Fane, but I'm not convinced it was him. But then again, so yeah, if it is him,
He's definitely, again, marked for, I can't wait till somebody takes care of him. Something significant happened at that village, and to see a fade tacked on the wall, as it was, like a yellow sticky note in your office, attention, read as soon as possible, something important took place.
He's definitely sending a message.
Yeah, dude, it's huge. The men's reaction about the fades echo back to how fearsome and formidable these creatures are, and yet Moraine was able to take one-on-one with her bare hands. That was huge. She's one bad chica, this Moraine. Yeah.
I definitely agree with you. In this episode, we did get to see some interesting moves done by her. This isn't the right scene for Moraine, is it? No.
No, not yet. We'll go to the tower first. Then Moraine, yeah. So let's head over to the tower. Now,
let's just fix that. I don't think Daryl adds any value.
yeah.
I definitely agree with you. In this episode, we did get to see some interesting moves done by her.
Let's cut it there.
Some interesting moves done by her.
these tracks already linked because I grouped them, so they're all connected. I can unlink it by hitting G. All right, so this one's done.
Going into Perrin's.
Let's go ahead and move this over. And this is talking about Perrin and the village. So let's find and scrub for that. So let's move this over just to get a little bit of real estate.
Shite all day, every day.
Let's just cut this up. S for slice, move this over.
Old man shite all day, every day. At least in the garden here, I got to see some of the more famous residents.
Let's find a good spot where Perrin and Elias are together. Okay, none of that. Let's just grow it out more. Push that over. And let's scrub this. Poor Matt in the tower. Not there yet. Let's push this over. I know it's towards the end and the beginning. Here it is. So, but this is the village fight. Do we want to do the village fight yet? We do. All right, let's get this marked for village. Okay, that ended earlier than I thought. There's Elias. He goes in the tavern. Let's end it there. That's one segment. Let's grab another one. Let's just slice this off by hitting S. And I know it's in the very beginning, so I need to go in the opposite direction. Let's do that. Let's do that. There they are. Let's speed through. There it is. There's Elias. There's Lan. Okay, let's see where this ends. That ended pretty quick. Let's put this here. All right, let's move this in front of this one. Put this behind. Actually, that might fit up perfectly. So let's go here. It's a little too long. So let's shrink something down. Let's mute these real quick. Mute, 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 mute. 4 tracks muted. Okay, the beginning can definitely go. Not as valuable. I want this in there. This isn't really significant at all, but I'll have it in there anyways. Let's drag this over here as the ending piece. There. Okay, let's try this.
There's a woman in that house.
Let's check the transition here. Not that it matters too much. Okay, good. Let's add let's go up here and click on Explore. Let's add the next segment, which is 2s. Elias and Paris. Perrin. Paris. Let's add Elias here. Let's add Perrin here. Okay, let's stretch that out. Let's stretch this out. Let's work on Elias. We're gonna click on the event pan and crop, which looks like this. Corners, 2 corners overlapping. And then Make sure the sync cursor's off at the moment. That comes in handy later in that mode. I probably want him in the bottom right. Yeah, it looks like he's looking to the left. Let's put him bottom right. Let's make him bigger too. And then right click, match output aspect. Yep, let's click on the second track down here, event pan crop. Let's flip this by right click, flipped horizontal. And let's make him bigger too. Right click, match. Let's get some of that afro in there. Let's see how this looks. Let's get the mutes off.
Going into Perrin's transition from, I would say, season 1 to season 2, where we got to see him do something that was very traumatic.
Okay, that's good enough. Let's put the marker down to show that part segmented. Let's go to the third one. Let's unmute these.
So let's head over to the tower. Naive finally gets to be in her comfort zone with seeing someone being treated or cared for. It's a great reminder for us at her core who Naive is. However, this was like ushered by the Red Aes Sedai, and I questioned her motives because I remember in the streets as they were discussing, she made a statement sharing her grand thoughts, willing to sacrifice the few for the greater or for things that are more precious to her. Right, so we get a little bit of deep dive in her psyche. The redhead, the daughter to heir. This little pompous redhead. But I had to change her heart. Her stock value doubled on the spot when was told to disclose the name of the person who provided a favor or punishment. Yeah. So let's take it to the village fight here.
Okay, let's split this. S. Move this over.
So let's head over to the tower. Naive finally gets to be in her comfort zone with seeing someone being treated and the repercussion. Is that a mark of a great leader? Excuse me. Is that a mark of a great leader?
Edit that.
Is that a mark of a great leader? Excuse me. Is that a mark of a great leader? I like her.
Let's highlight this.
And the repercussion.
Let's highlight the tracks in this area. Let's hit, I can hit delete. Oh, just kidding. Control Z. There we go. Let's play that.
Repercussion. Is that a mark of a great leader? I like her.
I definitely like Elaine Tricon. So the daughter heir of Andor, I mean, she is going to be very important going forward. Very glad we got to see her on screen. Got to see her and Egwene becoming pals. Leandrin kind of trying to mold Nynaeve is interesting to me. It's something different from the books at this point. But the whole thing going on in the tower right now with Matt and Min also, definitely something different. It's an interesting take on it. I believe they had to do it because of the move. What happened with Bernie Harris leaving the show, and we got a new Matt, and they're just kind of hopefully just putting the pieces in the right places to get people to where they need to be. Really hoping that's what's going on.
Okay. Let's join these two groups. Group. Move this over. Let's copy this, which still sounds weird, but we'll put it on there for now. All right, so this was, who did we just talk about?
Reminder for us at her.
The tower. So we need some tower action. Let's just cut this S, move this over. And this is going to be about what? About 8 to 10, 2 minutes of tower action. So let's bring this over too, get that out of here. tower action was in the beginning and at the end. Here it is. Just hit the left on the arrow key if you want to just go left by 1 frame. I'm going to drag this all the way over at the marker, it'll snap to it. And let's hit the right key until we get a new transition. Still tower, which is good, and mats. Red Aes Sedai and mats. Still in the tower with the lane. Gwen in the lane. And this is still tower scene. Still tower scene, and now the village. So it ends about here. Let's move this by dragging. These icons appear, but if you are looking to drag something, you click and hold, and it'll snap to that. Obviously, you have more than we need. That's a good problem. Let's see. What part is the best here? I think we can drop the end of that. That part's important. Mats, maybe. Because in the lane. So there is Naive, Matt, and Egwene. Or Ellen. Elaine. Jesus, so many names. Alright, so I want to partition that out. We didn't really talk about Matt, but I do want that in there. So I think that is very significant. Or I could fast forward these and play these on 2x. Would that be better than the recording? Possibly. I'll save that for later. Okay, so let's cut to this piece. Let's snap that. Very little time with Matt. Snap that, slice, and let's condense this.
So let's head over to the tower. Naive finally gets to be in her comfort zone with seeing someone being treated or cared for. It's a great reminder for us at her core who Naive is. However, this was like ushered by the Red Aes Sedai, and I questioned her motives because I remember in the streets as they were discussing, she made a statement sharing her grand thoughts, willing to sacrifice a few. Naive.
I think the healing part is more important. Let's get that in there. That part's pretty cool.
So let's head over to the tower.
Okay. When do we start telling?
The redhead, the daughter to W.A.R.
That's already at that part already? Jeesh. I'll bring that one in now. We'll swap the order of these. Let this overlap for 1 second for transition.
Is that a mark of a great leader? I like her.
Talks about
I definitely like Elaine Chacon. So the daughter of Andor, I mean, she is going to be very important going forward. Very glad we got to see her on screen. Got to see her and Egwene becoming pals. Leandrin kind of trying to mold Nynaeve is interesting to me. It's something different from the books at this point. But the whole thing going on in the tower right now with Matt and Min also, definitely something different. It's an interesting take on it. I believe they had to do it because of the move.
Okay, there's the mat. Let's bring it over there.
Definitely something different.
Let's get the marker there. Okay, let's chop this down to get Matt's face. There it is.
Definitely something different. It's an interesting take on it. I believe they had to do it because of the move. What happened with Bernie Harris leaving the show, and we got a new Matt.
Okay.
Instead, Elaine stepped in to take full responsibility.
I think this is good.
So let's head over to the tower. Nynaeve finally gets to be in her comfort zone with seeing someone being treated or cared for. It's a great reminder for us at her core who Nynaeve is. However, was like ushered by the Red Aes Sedai, and I question her motives because I remember in the streets as they were discussing, she made a statement sharing her grand thoughts, willing to sacrifice the few for the greater or for things that are more precious to her. Right, so we get a little bit of deep dive in her psyche. The redhead, the daughter to heir. This little pompous redhead. But I had to change her heart. Her stock value doubled on the spot when was. But I had to change her heart. Her stock value. But I had to change her heart. Her stock value doubled on the spot when was told to disclose the name of the person who provided a favor or punishment. But instead, Elaine stepped in to take full responsibility and the repercussion. Is that a mark of a great leader? I like her.
I definitely like Elaine Tricon. So the daughter Airband.
Okay, that should be good. Let's move this 4 over here. Let's try it again. Okay. That's Control C for copy, Control V for paste. All right. Let's move these over. Let's hit save, Control S. All right, I'm gonna take a break. I don't know who the one person's watching me. Probably Cody. Appreciate you, brother. I don't know if you're learning anything. Maybe one day you'll get into video editing. I will be back later since it takes a lot of time to edit. I'm just setting up the edits, and I got to go in and then actually do the magic piece, right? Make it look pretty and all that jazz. I will be back to edit later. I'm thinking about just streaming my work. Just see where it goes. But I thank you for going over to, I'm assuming you did this, the one person that's sitting here watching me. Doesn't have a name because it doesn't tell me who's in here. I don't know how to see that. But if you haven't, go over to Watchers and Readers. That's the other channel that we're posting our post-production. This is the pre-production work. It's post-production, but it's editing work. Our final work is on the Watchers and Readers, and it's on Wheel of Time at the moment, but that doesn't confine us just to that show. We're planning to possibly do more, like Walking Dead or any other suggestions that might be out there. Take a look. If you like what you see and hear there, thank you in advance for the like and sub. I will be back later. Thank you, guys. Let's see how I'm supposed to end this. I haven't streamed live in a long time.